Hello, Mana here, and today we are playing The Curse of 1,000 Stars from the Spooktober 5th Annual Visual Novel Jam. And I don't know too much about this one. The page really doesn't have a lot of information. It really just says the length, it's 30 minutes. It says no gore, contains action, and the engine's made with. I just like the character artwork, and yeah, that's about it. This is the second game I'm playing from this jam, so if you want to check out the jam itself, I should have the link in the description as well to this, and probably a playlist. I should make one of those. But yeah, other than that, hope you're doing well, and thank you for watching. Do you like watching birds? I do. They skip around and sing the tunes of blossoms and snuggle up to each other. Such cute little things. The pink petals fell out of sight my view. Bright blue skies stare back at me, sucking me into an endless depth. What time is it again? The dusty wall clock said 3:10, but it's always 4 minutes behind ever since August. 1 minute left to go then. Everybody's getting rowdy, reassuring me that I'm not alone. The familiarity comforted me instead. Stand! Attention! Bow! With a uniform bow, everyone was quiet for a second before the rumbling of bags and chairs erupted. The day is not yet over for a lot of us, but the euphoria of freedom sure is a pleasant feeling. I sighed contently as a few girls walked up to me. Miss Nakajima, thank you for the advice. I'll check it out before the next class. Sure, I learned that trick in back in my high school days as well. Hope it'll be useful. Sensei, can you read me my boyfriend's fortune? I'm getting worried about him. He replies so late. I took the dice out of my pocket and gave them a spin. They rolled on the desk and gave me a 5 and a 2. You guys will be fine. Thank you so much, Nakajima-sensei. I'll see you tomorrow. The class rep was the last student to meet me. He gave me the homework he collected in a neat paper pile. Yoshiko did not come in today either. I could come later to see if she's at home. No, that's okay. I'll come to her home soon, so don't worry about it, or you will be late to cram school again. The class rep smiled and bowed. Thank you for understanding. I'll leave it to you then. After he left, tranquility permeated the corners of the class. The moment stretches into minutes and then eternity. As the clock ticks, I sat and closed my eyes, revering in the finite silence of the world. There was no more Masaki Najima, the language teacher. I am merely another fragment of the universe, playing my role just as the cup on my desk holds water. I packed up my books and left. Chatter and laughter rang in the hallway. Many faces I didn't recognize. Some that I did wave to me. You're so beautiful today, Sensei. Are you going to remarry yet? Not yet. I don't know. Way to be insensitive. Oh, I really meant it. Ren, I wonder what he's up to. It's not like I didn't notice it. I simply want to avoid the truth. If I had been more courageous and faced not just him, but also my own self, things wouldn't have... I looked at the girls in front of me. A familiar cold sensation washed over me. It is subtle, but I've always been good at detecting subtleties. Where are you guys going after school? A new crepe place opened 2 blocks down. We wanted to try that for a while. A cold wind blew through the windows, shooting a chill down my spine. I opened my mouth but said nothing. The 2 girls looked expectantly, their eyes gnawing at the words on my tongue. Against my wish, I let it out. I'll let you in on a secret. There's a surprise quiz tomorrow, so go home and study now. What? That's so mean. Don't worry, Nakajima-sensei. We'll study afterwards. No, I really mean it. You'll only pass this quiz if you study now. Promise me, okay? You can use the library to study as well. Plus, I heard earlier that crepe shop is closing today anyway. Oh wow, we didn't know. Thanks for the info. I don't really want to study, though. Nakajima-sensei is nice enough to hint at your terrible grade. Come on now, let's go. The 2 students scurried off down the hallway. A storm brew inside me, questioning if I did the right thing. Yeah, they're gonna study. So, maybe. Nakajima-san, are you hanging out in there okay? Are you hanging in there okay? The teacher in front of me, Kage Yamada-san, asked me as he grades the students' homework. He sat across from my desk and has been a math teacher for over a decade. He's always been a man of few words. though it is rare he would ponder about anything beyond class materials. I can be a good listener. I know how it must have felt as well. You already heard it from me before. My wife passed away 5 years ago. Yamada-san fumbled with the corner of the test he's grading, bending it. He usually do that without realizing it himself, and he would get surprised when I tell him later about it. But he is right. This Friday is the 1-year anniversary of Ren's death. I could never forget. Not just my gentle, loving husband passed away. I still vividly remember the autopsy account of the coroner. How he died. Before teaching at Seiko High School, Ren and I were teachers at Fudoki High School in Chiba Prefectural. Ren was a college acquaintance, but when I had my first teaching job at Fudoki, I was so surprised to meet him that the one thing led to another and we started a relationship. 1 year after that, we got married. It was a memory that I could never forget. Ren was both a caring educator and a caring husband. He's everything I ever needed. About 2 years after that, I noticed something amiss about Ren. He would often blank out both at home and school. I was really worried and he recognized that, so we went to the hospital to have it checked out. The doctors couldn't find anything strange. It was just stress, they said. I was worried he had something to hide, and for a while I didn't act very happy. Ren could tell, and he reassured me that there was nothing. He couldn't make sense of why he was staring into empty air more and more either. Slowly, he reached a point where he would be doing strange things like a lifeless husk. Staring at water overrunning the sink, turning on the heater while it's extremely hot outside, laying still in bed and staring at a hole in the ceiling for a whole day, no food nor bathroom break. What's weirder is he did not remember doing any of that. We started looking into a neurologist and psychiatrist, but they too said Ren is perfectly fine from their testings. We did set up regular appointments with those doctors for Ren to consult though. All the while, something shook at my mind daily. I've always been more sensitive to the supernatural. I might not be any fortune teller, but whenever something feels off, my instinct triumphs any logical senses. And the events Ren went through screamed at me, wanting to escape into the world. Something cursed him, something very horrible that had amplified this nightmare tenfold. I secretly contacted the Exorcist on the newspapers. All my life they have always felt like scams to me, since I myself can tell the supernatural from that man-made. Turned out I was not wrong. Many were fakes. The few that did feel real to me declined to come simply with one photo of Ren. It was by then I knew how serious it was. Not only that, I got scared. What could I possibly do besides watch? I was born with the sense, but not the power. It again reminded me of how much I hate this gift. All my life, things fall flat on a course, fated to be. Destinies. I hate it. I hate knowing people's misfortunes. I hate it each time I tell my students, I can help you, knowing full well it's a lie. I am no hero nor do I desire this, especially while I watch Ren crumble slowly day by day, unable to tell him something out of this world is doing this to him, unable to tell him I can't do anything better than be by his side. It all came down to one day. Ren didn't show any of these symptoms as frequent while he was teaching, so he thought his job is therapeutic enough to keep him grounded in reality. But on this particular Friday afternoon, everything shattered. Lunch break just ended and I was teaching then, but I could hear the scream of a student down the hallway. I calmed my class down and rushed outside, sprinting to Ren's classroom. He was not there. He could have rushed out first before I did, but the sensation tugging at my guts did not let go, so I ran to the scene. A group of teachers and students already stood outside of the nurse's office. A lot of pinching their noses. Ren still nowhere in sight. The air stopped moving as I pushed through some people and peeked inside. All I saw was red. Red liquid everywhere. Blood. It covered the whole room, the curtain, the bed, the floor. Especially the floor. A small figure laid face up on the ground. It's a male student. White foam trickling from his mouth. Someone laid on the bed. No. Something. It's so disfigured I can barely tell who. Or rather my brain doesn't want to tell. A clutching feeling in my guts however can. The next thing I know, I threw up right on the spot. The police and news called it the most gruesome incident yet in Chiba Prefectural. Investigation took a full week and multiple interrogations with those that got to the scene first and those related to the victims. The autopsy report that I heard from the coroner was a pure nightmare. The male student fell from the chair and died as he was writing strange glyphs on a sheet of paper. The glyphs don't belong to any known languages recorded in history. What's even worse is how the glyphs were written. It was written with Ren's blood. The details were too graphic for me to even take in after hearing it, but the autopsy report concluded Ren is the instigator, as there are eyewitness reports of him and the student going in the nurse's room. Ren was noted to be looking extremely out of place and alienated, a soulless zombie that has no will. In response, the school shuttered its doors for a full 2 weeks, attempting to bury the macabre incident in obscurity. Yet their efforts were in vain, as news of the bizarre case quickly spread throughout the entire prefecture. I faced the media by day and my own guilt by night. I reached a melting point and felt absolutely broken. A friend talked it out with me, however I decided it would be best to move city. Somewhere smaller, somewhere I can still teach the kids without painful memories. That's how I ended up at Kumamoto Prefectural, and ultimately Seiko High School. It's been a rough year, but the joy of teaching often made me forget. The smiles of my students soothed my pained spirit. That is, until recently. Thank you for the offer. What happened? Are you okay? Yeah, it's just a headache. Sorry, Yamada-san. Let's talk tomorrow. Okay. Let me know if something... I bolted out of the door with my bag and hurried down the curving hallway. The back of my head is in so much pain that I stopped to lean on the wall, barely holding myself up. I made up the lines and shapes, but this hallway might as well be Fantasyland, as my vision is attacked. My right eye flared, and soon, something emerged in the empty hallway. What's, sir? The fuzzy image in front of me looked like a student dragging a full bucket of water. My vision blurred, making it hard to see what their uniform looked like, much less their face. They continued to moan about water, and dragging the bucket inch by inch, heading the opposite way. Thirsty. Hey, what's your... Ugh! I sat down on the spot and closed my eyes, the waves of pain crashing full force against my head. I reached inside my bag and felt for the painkiller pack. Found it. I popped 2 pills on my hands and swallowed them dry. After a few minutes, the pain subsided and my vision cleared up. If there was someone there, it sure didn't look like it anymore. The only ones here were myself and the setting sun. I stood up and shook my head. This has been happening ever since the last month, these visions. The doctor prescribed me with aura migraine and explained how many people see things, or do not see things from one of their eyes during an attack. Except I kept track of the things I saw. Sometimes it was the neighbor's cat napping on the porch 30 minutes ago. Sometimes it was my students sleeping, then I snapped back to see them looking at me weirdly. It's never happened before, but now I see it almost daily. I also found a correlation between them. These visions happen or will happen in the locations I were at. In other words, I can see the past and future at random locations and frequencies. I have no control over this supernatural act, but I'm getting used to it now so I can tell when it could happen. Most of the times, it would just be harmless stuff. If I happen to see my student cheat on a test or something, I won't even use the knowledge. All my life I have been sensitive to the supernatural, but I never wanted to have influence on my actions. It sort of made me feel like things around me happened because of some higher factors. This time, it was strange. A strangeness I have not felt since Ren's incident. A strangeness that evoked the miserable me from the past, along with my own guilt to look away. I'll have to look into this tomorrow. Remember to read Chapter 9. We'll discuss it tomorrow. The rowdy kids made a sprint out of the classroom. Some looked depressed because of the surprise quiz I gave them today. I can't tell them this is the quiz that might have saved their classmates from dangers. The 2 girls I saw yesterday are looking pretty confident. Guess they took my advice. Good kids. Go and enjoy those crepes. Do you know something about that student? I was interrupted by a student with short, fluffy hair. She has quite an uninterested look as she stood in front of my desk. I don't see her around often, but for her to come is already miraculous in and of itself. Oh my gosh, Yoshiko, you came! How are you? That is not important. I need to know anything about that student. And those 2 over there? I think they want to go to the new crepe shop near our school. Why do you ask? Yoshiko did not even break her eye contact with me. I do not mean them. I meant the possessed student. You must know something. Possessed student? She couldn't mean the vision I saw yesterday. Was it really a possession? Even if it's a possession, how was it related to you? I can take care of it. You're going to tell me that you missed school all this time because you're some kind of exorcist now, aren't you? Wait, really? I'm sorry for missing school, but I won't be anymore. They've assigned me back here to investigate. They? If you know something about that student, please let me know. I need to find them before they become dangerous. Hey, wait, I'm not done with you. Yoshiko left without missing a beat. I stared at the door, processing what just happened. I saw Yoshiko twice since the school year started, and due to her lack of presence, that those two things might have been nothing. I had thought she must have had it hard at home, so I did plan on speaking to her parents, but it seems like there might have been an entirely different reason. Exorcists. I mean, most are scammers, no question there, but she has something ominous surrounding her. I could point it out at least 2 times, but I charged it to a bad omen. Now I don't know. Can an exorcist really have that much negative energy around them? Yoshiko is my student, so I will always place trust in her. Still, this is a lot beyond a teacher and student connection. In the meantime, I should look into the few students I found this morning walking around campus. They triggered my sixth sense. One of them might be the same student I saw in that vision. Let's see, where should I go? Oh, okay, we got choices. It was, I guess we'll go with the save then. I kind of wasn't expecting choices. It's, very straightforward text heavy so far. Where do we, I mean, we may just end up going everywhere, so I don't know if there'll actually be a choice. So we'll just go with the top one. Hello, what's your name? I'm Yu, from the track and field club. Right now I'm trying to beat my 100-meter time. Strange question, but do you or someone you know need a lot of water? I do bring a lot of water to drink. My club have plenty of water though. We won't have anybody to pass out from the heat. I know it's getting cold, but that won't help when you're super exhausted. What's something great you ate or drink recently? I tried out the new crepe place. It was really good. Have you tried it, Nakajima-sensei? Let's see, where should I go? We can go here again, but I guess we'll go to the next one. Hello, what's your name? I'm Takumi. I take care of the rabbits here. They need a lot of care, and I always love watching them. Strange question, but do you or someone you know need a lot of water? The rabbits need a lot of water. They drink twice the food they eat normally. Wow, that is very cool. I guess you would need to refill their water tank daily then? Yes, I do. Even though it's cold, they need water to survive. If not, terrible stuff would happen after just a few hours. What's something great you ate or drank recently? I really like the mashed potato my grandma makes. They are the best. Alright, check the hallway. Hello, what's your name? I'm Nana, from Class 3A. Do you need something from me, Nakajima-sensei? Strange question, but do you or someone you know need a lot of water? No. That is really strange, though. Is there a reason why? No reason, just curious. What's something great you ate or drank recently? My mum made hot tofu last night since it's getting chilly. It was so delish. Let's see, where should I go? Check the music room. Hello, what's your name? I'm Naomi. Welcome to our music club. Strange question, but do you or someone you know need a lot of water? Water? No, I don't think so. What's something great you ate or drink recently? It's really hot lately, so I've been sneaking out to eat some ice cream before and after class. Oops. Was so satisfying. Let's see, where should I go? I guess AV room. Hello, what's your name? Hello, Nakajima-sensei. I'm Riku, Vice President of the Film Club. What brings you here? Strange question, but do you or someone you know need a lot of water? None. That's a strange thing to ask indeed. Is this some sort of creative writing thought exercise? Maybe. What would you think of someone who suddenly needs a lot of water? Could be a lot of things. I like murder mysteries, so I'd imagine how they use it to clean the evidence. That's rather... okay. I see, that is one possibility. What's something great you ate or drink recently? Our club went out to eat some pretty steamy ramen on Monday. Cheap and great. Let's see, where should I go? I assume finish inquiries? Okay, I'll summon them tomorrow after school. Let's see if they really are the possessed one. Wait, who do you mean? None of them really stood out. I mean, other than the guy who jumped a murder mystery, I guess. It shouldn't be dangerous. I've done some exorcism before, cutting ties that held down the vessel in spirit. My supernatural sense allows me to see where this connection is, and I simply hold out until then and squeeze it really hard, severing the ties. Though I've only done it a few times, and the spirits were benevolent. I don't want Yoshiko involved. She's my precious student, and I still don't know her real objective. She could be an exorcist, but if she's the culprit behind this... I shouldn't doubt her. Let's take care of this myself first. I can think about what happens after. I already stood aside once. I won't let it happen again. The door closed. Naomi came and stood at the far end of the classroom. She looked at me, but at the same time she wasn't. Oh, okay. Nothing really stood out to me. Did I miss something there, or? Huh. I stood up from my chair and walked in front of my desk. The air hung. My footsteps and my heartbeats filled the void. A void of strong miasma. Thank you for coming by, Naomi. Can I ask you if you're feeling okay? No response. The girl stood there following my movement. Only her eyes were moving, looking straight into my soul, searching for something. Sweats formed on her forehead. I got a bit worried, wondering if this might be a predicament. I think I can pinpoint where Naomi is being controlled and cut the ties to wherever is controlling her, but I also never attempted this before. It would be a one-way street. Thirsty. Confirming my foresight, Naomi uttered as she strained her eyes. So thirsty. Hot. Need water. I stayed in the spot. The aura around her is getting weirder by time. The usual phenomenon is that there are ghosts or evil spirits hovering near the vessel, giving off this miasmal aura, and a jelly-like ties between the person and the spirit. I don't touch the spirit at all. I just squeeze the ties until it disconnects. This aura is a bit different. I can't see anything near the girl. There are light purple strands floating around her, the ends attaching to nothingness, accompanying a sense of heavy dread. I almost threw up trying to tap into that space around her. This is bad. I can barely look at whatever it is this time. Plus there's dozens of thin threads. How would I cut anything? No, I need to steel myself and get through this. I have to start protecting those that I can. In a moment of insanity, I walked straight for Naomi. My eyes glued to the wall to my right. I reached out with my hand and touched those purple floating strands. Then darkness. I could no longer see anything. Actually, emptiness is a better word because I cannot sense anything either. I'm floating in emptiness. My extended arm can no longer feel any weird strands. This is the first time my sixth sense cannot tell anything here and beyond. I am standing, but at the same time I am floating. What was I doing here again? I racked my brain for what I did before ending up in this void. I was helping somebody. At least I think I did. The memory was a blur. Out of the corner of my eyes, a wave of pink and purple smeared the emptiness, slowly expanding, slowly making itself known. My eyes stuck on the strange wonder happening, unable to move. Was it awe, or was it fear? I didn't care either way. What I saw was beyond magnificent of any beauty in the world. Yet at the same time it belittled me, poking me with its grandiosity. Its presence alone made everything I ever know fruitless, reduced to mere delusions. It doesn't even acknowledge me, forever seeking forward. Ah. In the midst of it all, my ears picked up a sound. The ever-empty void made the smallest sound possible to hear. Or was it on the wrong frequency? I heard a crackling voice, like from that stasis on the radio. Its level increasing, finally looming over me. Groans? Not exactly. The sounds made my body shiver, a chill sent straight to my body. This thing is uttering something without even a shape or form, combining crumbs of sounds into indecipherable sounds. Words I realized. How did I realize? The voice growled. The blemishes of pink and purple washed over me, carrying its intonation. Something not meant for a human's ears. Yumgep muged aten gut hutfut yat goffen ya ye og gogornor yor og anan gotha. Yep. That's the best I'm doing. Who am I? My arm's hurt. I was hurled over here somewhere. Oh right, the classroom. I am Misaki Najima, high school Japanese teacher. I was here with a possessed student. Oh, my back hurts as well. I held onto a fallen chair and got up. My ears buzzed. Someone must have thrown me to the other side of the classroom, literally. I cannot hear much, but I can see shapes moving amidst the pile of desks and chairs. Naomi, her eyes consumed by an otherworldly malevolence, held a desk aloft with a single arm ready to launch it at her next target. On the opposite side, a shrine maiden turned toward me, and that's when my head cleared up. Get out of here! Naomi's attention shifted, her bloodshot eyes locking onto me as a sinister grin twisted her face. Found you. But before Naomi could act, Yoshiko sprang into action. Naomi turned and launched a dozen of desks and chairs at the shrine maiden. She dodged left and right, her wooden shaku still ready. Yoshiko took a few steps back, and then straightened herself and sprinted towards Naomi. The sacred power of Susanoo no Mikoto shall calm the storm. With a swift and determined motion, Yoshiko swung the shaku downward at Naomi. However, the possessed girl seemed to have gained unnatural agility and reflexes. She sidestepped the attack with eerie grace, moving like a puppet on purple strings. Her movements were now fluid and unpredictable. But all she did was hit the air. Naomi thrust her clenched fist toward Yoshiko, her eyes brimming with malevolent intent. Her hands sliced through the air with astonishing speed, but Yoshiko was one step ahead. With a graceful step back, she evaded the attack, leaving her unscathed. Crossing Moon. The shrine maiden shifted her weight and swung the shaku in a diagonal arc. The attack made full contact on Naomi's leg, making the girl lose her balance. Cheh, you're a lot tougher than I thought. From thin air, Yoshiko pulled out a paper talisman with red markings and shot it through the air. It landed perfectly on Naomi's forehead. The marking lit up like a fire. Yoshiko straightened her shaku, then pointed at Naomi's face. The possessed girl stood still, so I assume the talisman is effective against the spirit. By the grace of Amaterasu, I command you to leave this body and continue to your next life. The talisman burned and the girl screamed. She fell back on the floor and flailed her arms, unable to touch the sacred paper on her forehead. Soon, it burned up and Naomi remained motionless on the floor. Yoshiko stood still while pointing the shaku at Naomi. After a moment, she reflexed and lowered her arm, breathing a sigh of relief. She glanced at me, who was still on my butt, watching everything unfold. She should be fine now. Can you help me carry her to the nurse's office? Yoshiko wiped her forehead with her grey-stained sleeves. It was a fair request, so I nodded. As I stood up, my head vibrated. A pain struck the rear side of my right eye, but it was not from any external force. My vision once again distorted, blurring half of my vision. I held onto a desk, seeing fuzzy images blend together. I was alarmed. Never! Duck under. Yoshiko threw herself back just in time to avoid Naomi pouncing where her neck was. The possessed girl struck a roll like an experienced gymnast, then stood up right in front of me. Change. Need. Eh? The girl held her outstretched palm to my face. I stared at it involuntarily, like something willed me to do so. The classroom spinned the longer I looked. Yoshiko intercepted with her talisman, approaching Naomi with another swing of the shaku. The girl stopped it with the same hand she held out, breaking the trance I was under. Using just one hand, she seemed to deflect almost every attack from Yoshiko. Right swing. A fast stab with the shaku. Naomi only got stronger. How was it possible? A flurry of attacks, but Yoshiko didn't make a dent under the spirit. On the other hand, the Exorcist only got so much stamina and energy. Meanwhile, this thing is pulling its energy from somewhere. A battle of attrition where both are equal won't. That's when I noticed it. Did Yoshiko even see those strands hanging off Naomi? While the possessed girl had her back turned to me, I reached for those strands again, knowing full well the strange void experience might happen again. But deep down, I know this is the key to stop everything. The classroom turned upside down. A tenacious attack hit my head, but I withheld. I closed my eyes and focused everything on my own fist, holding onto all of the strands. I could feel it. Not just the shape, but also the presence it has. The loose ends are no longer loose. There is something at the other end. Yoshiko, use your shaku and sever the connection I'm holding. Yoshiko looked at my fist, probably seeing me hold nothing but thin air. However, she nodded and quickly skipped over to my way. This thing turned to look at me. It crooked a head tilt and smiled, the widest smile I've ever seen on somebody. Yoshiko saw Naomi turn to me and threw the 3 blue marked talismans, one out the back of her head, the other 2 on her back. Just like the one with the red markings earlier, this one lit up fire, albeit blue. Immovable faith. The wide smile turned into an annoyed frown as it wanted to turn back. Though the talismans proved to be effective, swinging her shaku, Yoshiko made a final chant. Beneath the benevolent Amaterasu, I command you once more to leave this body for good. A long screech followed. Naomi's eyes bulged out of their sockets, showing all the nerves I never thought I could see in a lifetime. Smoke rises out of her body while it shook out of control. Soon, I saw the threads connected to her disintegrate. Naomi slumped on the floor, her body almost malnourished. Yoshiko sank to the floor as if she has forgot to breathe this entire time. Do you think it's coming back? No, I saw the threads cut. Naomi should be fine now. Yoshiko releases a big sigh. I looked at the limp body of Naomi. I need to give her first aid and call 119. However, Yoshiko, can you call the ambulance? Sorry, Nakajima-sensei. I don't have a cell phone. In this day and age? Maybe exorcists don't need cell phones for communication. I have one in my bag up there. Dial 119 and let them know our school. Yoshiko hesitated but finally got up and got the phone out of my bag. She dialed the number and let them know which school and classroom. Afterwards, she hung up the call. Sensei, the threads were cut, right? Why is your first still in the same position? Indeed, I am still making a fist, but it wasn't for thin air. I am still holding on to the threads connected to that thing far above, far beyond any places humanity's imagination ever reached. I still have the strange threads in my hand. I can trace it somewhat. You can trace the connection? Wait, what were they to begin with? Up until now, she only possessed person to give me such a hard time. I don't know. I don't even think we should treat them like a possession case. But yes, I can trace the connection. I closed my eyes and gave full attention to the thin threads in my fist. Feeling their vibration, their words from light years away, through the crack of this world. There were no spirits nor ghosts behind these strange possessions. It came from something even more ancient. The threads pulsed, and with each pulse my soul got sucked into the abyss farther and farther. I felt like going down a tight tube, no room to move and no sight of what to expect. I was getting close, but suddenly I was pushed back. Ah, whoa, that was scary. What happened? Yoshiko rushed over to check on me, but I shook my head. I think I can actually open a portal to that world. What do you think? You can? How do you even get a hold of this power? It's a long story. Maybe we can discuss it while we go in. While we go in? I opened my palm and the threads floated up. For some reason I could tell they won't disappear just yet. They formed a circle mid-air and space distorted. Deep inside we can see strange mist and color, a whole different world from anything we know. Yoshiko hovered her hand over in the circle. She immediately tucked her hand back, a horrified look across her face. How did you even withstand this amount of miasma? However, her concern lasted for a brief moment. She steeled her fist and looked at me. Let's go, Sensei. I think you are very powerful yourself, so let's defeat this calamity together. We both reached inside the strange portal, and the next moment we are falling. It's hard to put into words where this is, or even what this is. We descended down the portal, or was it ascended? Time and direction ceased to be realities. We could as well be stuck on the same spot, images moving past us. We screamed yet made no sounds. I held Yoshiko's hand tightly, and we both looked at one another. Our fates intertwined. Wherever this leads us is the shared door we both have to open. Then it stopped. We stopped for sure because the images stopped. But where are we? There are no boundaries, nor were there any floors or ceilings. We simply exist, confirmed by one another. Hey, where did you guys come from? I jumped. Yoshiko got ready with a shaku. We turned to the source of the voice and found out there was a tall girl behind us. She has brown hair and a big flower hairpin, but the flower looked quite realistic, as if she handpicked it herself. Don't tell me you two came from the sky. This is the first. Where is this? Who are you? The girl studied us like some kind of alien specimen, jumping and skipping around us. A shrine maiden outfit? And you? A teacher? Answer the question. Calm down, I was just looking. Let's see, you can call me Mysterious Girl then. Don't you have a real name? And you can refer to the doll here as Talking Doll. A doll sat on the chair in the middle of an empty room. It had a few patches and sewing lines on its worn fabric, a miniature flower to the girls. It doesn't look any more special than a regular teddy bear. Why do you get to pick my name? Whoa. Despite knowing I can talk, you still get surprised. Haha. Did you play your roles too hard when you summoned actual characters from your mind? Stop. Everybody turned to the Shrine Maiden. She was mad, but not because of the carefree girl and her doll. I can tell she is mad because unlike the world outside, nothing here makes sense. She's frustrated. Please, there is something very dangerous out there that we need to eliminate. Our school, no. Humanity might very well be at risk. The mysterious girl looked at the doll and back at us. Okay. Tell us your story. Wait, what? Is that the end? Ah, what? Is that really the end? I mean, okay, well, to be fair, on the itch page, it does say like length 30 minutes and it says prototype features. It also has at the bottom, please leave your feedback for what I have. I'll continue to work on the game for the next year and any comments are appreciated. So I guess this was just as much as they were able to get done for the jam. Which, man, okay. Honestly, I feel like, I mean, I'm a little bit mixed on where they left it off. I feel like it works, but I almost feel like it could have been better to leave it off when they entered this new world, or whatever exactly they entered, like... Because I feel like it could have been like, alright, let's, you know, they go through the portal and then bam, to be continued. Like, I feel like maybe that would have been better. It sort of started something new and then boom, cuts it off. Because that felt very, very abrupt. Yeah, alright. I guess that was all we can play for now of The Curse of 1,000 Stars. It was pretty good. I do have some thoughts. That was being the first of them. That was very, very abrupt. I did feel weird. There wasn't like a to be continued or anything. It just bam, straight back to the menu. Yeah. Okay. So, I like the setup overall. Interesting. I'm curious where it's gonna go. We don't have a lot of characters, but yeah, I'm okay. I'm trying to. I feel like I need to get my thoughts together here. That was really, really abrupt. Because like, if it stopped when they just entered the portal or something, I would have still been like, you know, I'd want to keep going type of thing. But I feel like it would have felt like a bit more like the end of a chapter, like, you know, that type of thing. Whereas this felt like, you know, the end of a chapter, then 5 minutes into the next chapter, boom, done. So, even though I kind of liked seeing the extra bit, and that was very strange to find a girl who looked kind of normal and a talking teddy bear, it sort of just leaves you like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, overall I did like this. My only, I don't even know if it's a criticism or just something that really stuck out to me was that this felt more like, this felt almost like I was reading a light novel, or just like a novel in general. Like I could feel like you could put all of this text into a light novel format, and it feels more like, I mean, I guess novel as well. I'm just thinking light novel because of the setting in Japan and stuff. But yeah, it felt more like reading the beginnings of a light novel as opposed to a visual novel. Visual novels tend to have a lot more character interaction to really tell the story. I guess more like a... I don't really know a good comparison. I mean, if you're familiar with visual novels, I think you'll understand what I'm saying. But yeah, they normally rely more on character interaction to tell the story. And outside of that, there's only a few bits. Like, there is... Yeah. This felt extremely heavy on the just... exposition? Is that the... I don't know. I'm not good on these... I don't know these terms. I know what I'm... It's more clear in my head than I know how to articulate, but... I guess, yes, just put most simply, it felt more like a light novel, like an actual book, as opposed to a visual novel. So I do think it could be cut down a lot. I do like the general setup, though. That's a big positive. I do like the setup. You know, I'm very curious to see where it goes. But yeah, very, very text heavy. which visual novels definitely can be, and well, they are, because they are a visual novel. But yeah, I wish I could explain what I'm saying better, but I think it'll make sense if you've played visual novels before. They just, they tend to rely on more conversation to tell the story, interaction between characters, with a bit of exposition here and there to maybe, you know, some, like, because sometimes they'll include, like, people's thoughts and things, like they did in this, with the teacher. Like, you did have her thinking a bit, but it sort of went a lot more in depth, more like a light novel does, or just novel in general compared to a visual novel. Yeah, I'm not explaining it well, but hopefully that makes sense. Another thing was, I really think some music would have helped. You know, even just some free music you can find around to use, like commercial-free stuff. Just something to give some background presence, because it was pretty much silent the whole time, except for like the school bell and maybe something else. So I think that would help a lot. There was also a fair bit that was just like a black screen. I feel like you could find something to fill in there, maybe. Because I did feel like there was a black screen for a decent chunk when I was reading. But yeah, overall I did like the setup though. I'm interested, characters are interesting, setup's interesting. But yeah, I'd be curious how long it's intended to be and things like that, because yeah, I don't know. I think I'm most stuck on that element. Like, that was in the back of my mind a lot when I was reading it. The fact that this does feel more like a novel than visual novel. But yeah, still overall positive experience. Yeah, some sounds would be good. Yeah, just a very abrupt ending, as I said. But yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, DM's gonna say thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought. Hopefully I said what I made sense. Yeah, it's a bit long-winded and poorly explained, but as I said, I think if you played visual novels, you'll understand what I mean. But still good, you know. I wouldn't not play it because of that. It was a longer version. But I think if you go in the visual novel format, things could be tweaked quite a bit on the writing side, I think. Because I do think the general setup and the characters and what's been there so far does absolutely work for a visual novel. But yeah. Yeah, well that was it for The Curse of 1,000 Stars, which was a part of the, as I said at the beginning, Spooktober 5th Annual Visual Novel Jam. I will have that linked in the description if you want to check it out. There's over 200 submissions, so if you do find anything good and you want me to play it, let me know. But other than that, I just thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be well. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you in something else soon. Bye-bye.